Hi everyone, in this video I'm going to go over the personalized portrait. I have transferred once again my color wheel template to the Bristol paper, and then I've cleaned it up a little bit. From the color cards I chose purple, green, blue, and orange. Orange is my favorite color for various reasons, and then I chose the others because they're just colors of the earth and colors that I enjoy, and I'll get into that a little bit more in a second. But what I want to show you also is how I've labeled the color wheel. So as you can see, this is just going to be easier for me when I lay the paint down so that I know, the order of things. So the first thing I want to do is point out that I have blue here, and then on both sides of blue I have dark blue, blue, and then light blue. And then I go around. So what I'm going to do, I have my paint, I have my brushes, I have water, paper towels. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay down my first layer of blue. And then I'm going to show you how to mix the color for the light and for the dark, okay? Because the goal here is to have a light and a medium and a dark of the color that you chose, okay? So that way you are showing that you understand, the percentages of blending paint and how to make paint lighter and how to make it darker, and what that takes and what the ratio is, for example. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my blue in first. And one of the reasons why I chose blue was because if you read through the cards, which are posted, you'll notice like one of the things that it says about blue is that it represents like a tranquility. And you would definitely kind of understand that tranquility looking at water. It's a very tranquil environment. Blue also is a very calming color. And I like it a lot because it represents a big part of the earth, water, and the sky is another color blue at most times, right? So it just reminds me of nature, and I love being outside. I love being in nature. So blue is a pretty significant color, I think, for all of us, right? So I have my first layer down, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten my blue, okay, with white. So I'm going to put a little bit of white next to it over here. And then I'm going to put, I'm going to choose gray instead of black. You can do either. And then I'm going to dry my brush off and go ahead and take some blue and mix it in with my white. And then this is me deciding, like, if you want like a super light blue, you would maybe take a lot less than I took, and based on the ratio. So let's say you have like in this little circle right here, in this little pot right here, if I have like 80% white and 20% blue, it's gonna be a relatively light blue, okay? And so what I'm doing right now is I'm, trying to just get all the pigment. Some of it can kind of go into the bottom of the tray. So I'm getting that. And then I'm going to clean my brush. Okay. And then I have a good amount of gray. I'm going to take some blue. I'm going to do, some healthy scoops in there. We're spinning it around. We're darkening that blue. See what comes out, see if we like it. If we hate it, then we'll edit it and go on and figure out what we want to do. You don't want to just do like 50-50 colors and then you're using a color you don't like. The whole point of this project is to make sure that you're choosing and making colors that are interesting to you and that show your personality, okay? So I'm going to clean my brush, and then I'm going to go ahead and do my light blue first. I have extra paint on my brush, so I'm going to start in the middle. The goal is to always start in the corner, in this very corner here, but you gotta sometimes have to get some brush off or paint off your brush first in order to lay it down nice and clean. And then there are some areas where if you're gonna need to, you're gonna be outlining these with Sharpie anyway. But you know, if there's some areas that you're not happy with, that aren't as like precise as you want them to be, then that's where the Sharpie outlining tool comes in. It's awesome how it'll just kind of help you edit and, you know, fix any kind of mistakes or any kind of spaces where you went into the next color, right? So there's my light blue. It's pretty, it goes on pretty nice. Usually when you mix white with a color, it will become more opaque, okay? And opaque means not transparent. Opaque means that it's not see-through. So now I'm gonna clean my brush, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna move my paper for my comfort and my convenience. It doesn't have to be straight up and down all the time. I'm gonna try to start in the center here with my dark blue. It's kind of amazing what this turns into with just, you know, I don't think I used too much gray. I used a good amount. It wasn't necessarily 50-50. I feel like I had more gray than blue for sure, but you can definitely see the blue in this gray. So I'm taking my time here. I'm outlining my object, which is what you should really always do when you're painting a solid space like this. Not necessarily every time you're painting anything, but you know, when you're painting a solid space, you want to try and go to the outline and then go into the center, because it just makes it cleaner and a lot more flat so that you don't see any brush strokes. So there's my first layer of the blue. Okay, so this is what we should have for all of the colors you're choosing. You can choose between 3 and 4 colors. If you choose 3 colors, you're gonna have 9 colors on your color wheel, your personalized color wheel. If you choose 4 colors, you're gonna have, like me, you're gonna have 12 new colors. The medium value, like this orange right here, that you're gonna have is gonna be just the color straight out of the bottle or the tube that you picked. So you don't need to blend your medium, okay? You're only blending the light and the dark, and that's it. So I'm doing my orange right here. And this is just like a personalized color wheel because it's kind of showing the universe like, hey, if I were doing any kind of project and I get to pick the colors that I want to do, no matter what it is, I would pick these colors. So now I want to go in and I'm going to add some white, just a little bit, and I'm going to add some gray. I'm going to only do a little tiny bit of gray. Like, that's even too much in my opinion, because this is a lighter color. So if, you know, you're using blue, then you can use more gray. But if you're using like a light color like yellow or orange, you don't want to use too much gray, honestly, because then it'll just take over, right? And then I clean my brush. I'm gonna grab some orange. I'm hoping this doesn't end up looking like muddy. See what happens. It's interesting. You can also, you can also darken orange with red and get like red orange if you want to, but that kind of is like going outside of this experiment because, you know, if you're going to be using white and gray for your other colors that you're blending, then you're definitely going to want to try to keep it consistent so we can kind of see, oh, okay, you know, if I add white to this color, this is what it looks like. If I add gray to this color, this is what it looks like. And it's just kind of interesting to see how, you know, the colors will react to white and gray. I'm not a fan of blending with black. It just takes over too much. I just don't do it often, honestly. So I always choose gray when I'm darkening color. Sometimes I'll also choose like a dark green to darken color. It's just up to you and like up to the mood of what you're doing, right? To see like how dramatic you want your color to be. So there's my light orange, and I'm noticing I accidentally put it into my dark orange spot on the color wheel. It doesn't matter. That's fine. It's not what I wanted initially, but it's like not a deal breaker. It's fine. It's not gonna ruin anything. No big deal. We move on. No worries. So, you know, apparently this paint is showing us that when you mix orange with gray, you get a really interesting, like a brown kind of. Okay. I feel like I definitely want to clean that off right there. So as far as orange goes, what I love about orange is it's just like an earth tone, which means that, you know, you'll find a lot of colors in the earth that have orange that are like, I'm trying to fix this right here because I just accidentally got some. So I'm adding a little bit of water and a little bit of paint, just kind of clean it up a little bit, and then I'll let the Sharpie do the rest. But as far as orange goes, like I love seeing the sunset, you know, I love all of that kind of stuff. So just wanted to pick orange because it has like a nice vibrancy to it. The next one's purple, so I'm going to lay the purple in. You know, orange is the color of the sun. A lot of flowers are orange. I just like that it's a happy color. It's not super common that people like orange. It's kind of funny, honestly. A lot of people like blues and purples and stuff. I ask my middle school students all the time, and they always pick like blues and turquoises and stuff like that. But as far as the slides go, I read how orange, you know, represents thoughtfulness, and I read how it represents like consideration of others, I believe it said. So for me, you know, I feel like I'm like that a lot. Like I feel like I'm really thoughtful, sometimes almost in an unhealthy way, like definitely very empathetic. So I'm wondering if that's kind of an interesting coincidence, right? That I like orange so much, and then according to our personality slides, it said how orange can represent thoughtfulness and consideration of others. It also talked about vibrancy and enthusiasm, which I definitely try to be just like goofy and funny and enthusiastic, and especially in front of my middle schoolers and my 4-year-old and my 5-year-old. I try to like keep it light and funny and exciting if I can, you know, so that way they're inspired. So I'm doing my light purple now, and then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish up with the darker purple. And then I'm going to do the green. I'm doing a little tiny bit of gray, but I think you get the point now as far as like what you know, the goal is, right? You want to just have, you know, a tiny bit of like to darken it. So in the description, how I mentioned, you know, you want to have a light version, a medium version, and a dark version. So your medium version, as I said a second ago, is going to be like the straight color out of the, you know, out of the tube, right? The straight color. And then your light is adding white, and your dark is going to be adding gray. If you wanted to add black or a different color, to darken your colors, that's an option too, but just try to keep it consistent where, you know, you're not just using like blue to darken one color and gray to darken another one. You want to kind of see the experiment with color and kind of see like how the colors will react to the gray and the white, because they might all be different, and it will be kind of interesting to see as opposed to like changing up what you're gonna do, if that makes sense, hopefully. Okay, thank you for watching. I'm gonna go ahead and finish this up and then I will post the visual. Thank you.